the goal. Hopefully we'll get there, but when you're dealing with the production of a biological, and that's what a vaccine is, you never can give an absolute guaranteed number, but that's what we're hoping for, around 110 million.
Other than a vaccine, is there anything people can do to avoid or
prevent? Oh yes, there are several things. First of all, there's good hygiene, respiratory hygiene, and you hear about it. It seems so low tech that sometimes people don't pay attention to it, but when you're dealing with a situation, if you get sick, you get a cold, you sneeze into a tissue, throw it away, you cough this way so that you don't spread it. If you're sick, you don't go to school. If you're sick, you don't go to work. A variety of issues. If there is an outbreak, you try to avoid crowded places if at all possible. So there are a number of things that can be done in anticipation of or throughout a pandemic if you don't have the vaccine ready.
Robin is on the line now from Hamlin, West Virginia, Republican caller. Hi there, you're on with Dr. Anthony Fauci.
Hello.
Hi.
I might have a few questions. With these shots that are going on, isn't it good, that we might not, refuse the shots? Isn't it good that our own immune system, if you get something like chicken pox, your body becomes immune to it, you never get it again. Isn't that also a good thing with these flus? And not very many people have actually died from this flu. I don't understand why people are in such a panic about getting these shots.
What kind of perspective can you add to that?
Sure, certainly. Well, on any given year, with seasonal flu, forgetting pandemic flu, and I'll get to the point why we worry more, not worry, but we have concern more about a pandemic than we do with seasonal flu. Seasonal flu in and of itself is a serious disease. People don't appreciate that each year 36,000 Americans die from seasonal flu, and there are 200,000 excess hospitalization. So influenza is not a trivial disease and not something to be taken lightly. You bring up the very good point. If you get chickenpox, you tend to have lifelong immunity and never need a chickenpox vaccine or any kind of that protection because your immune system will protect you. The difference and the difficulty with influenza is that even on a seasonal basis, it changes enough from year to year, and we call that a drift of the virus, that you don't have full protection at all from previous exposures or from previous vaccines. Sometimes, rarely, an influenza virus changes radically such that it becomes a virus to which there's very little experience in the community and very little background immunity. We call that a pandemic strain. That's exactly what we're seeing now with this novel H1N1. It's a virus that has emerged on society for which there's very little background immunity. That's the reason why we're trying as best as we can to get prepared for it with vaccines to be offered to the American public.
Annapolis, Maryland. Lee, you're on the air. Democrats line. Hi.
Hi. I'd just like to make a couple of comments, and then could I ask a question of you, Paul?
Sure.
Before you cut me off. Okay, thank you.
Sure.
One of the callers yesterday made a really great point, and it reminded me of something I already knew, that the people are actually the government. This doctor works for the government. I used to work for Johns Hopkins Hospital in the public health department for the Study to Help the AIDS research effort, and I worked with the National Institutes of Health and Mental Health and also the CDC.